Let's say you had bought some shares in stock market, but even after investing, you're not sure whether the share price is going to go up or whether it is going to go down. So in such a scenario, it raises a very fundamental question on whether you had rationally invested in shares or you merely speculated that the share price might rise. So in this video, what I'll try to do is try to differentiate between rational investing or investing versus speculating. And you would be surprised to know that most of the people or the retail investors go about doing speculating rather than rational investing. By the end of this video, you would know whether you had invested rationally or had you merely speculated when you invested. Before we get into the discussion of rational investing versus speculation, it is very important for us to understand what exactly investing as a term means. Okay. So in general, investing is an act of allocating resources, usually money, with the expectation of generating an income or profit. Whatever resources that you have with you, that you allocate to a specific kind of asset, and you expect to generate some kind of income from it. Not just in monetary terms. I mean, if you are watching this video, you have invested your time to get some kind of knowledge addition over here. So generating income or profit in layman terms is called as investing if you have allocated your resources with the aim of generating some kind of income or profit. Now comes the important part. What exactly do you mean by investing in shares? So when you say that you have invested in shares of a particular company, what you effectively mean is that you have bought the ownership right in that business. Okay. And that ownership right or the percentage of ownership right that you have can be easily understood by the number of shares that you are holding versus the total shares outstanding. Let's say if you own or if you have bought 10% shares of a particular company, that means that you have the ownership of 10% of that business of the company. So you don't own just the shares of the company, particular company, but you eventually own the business of that company. So the fundamental is very clear. If you don't understand the business of the company, don't buy the shares, because when you buy the share, you are actually owning the business of that company. And now that since we are investing in the shares, the ultimate aim is to generate some kind of profit, okay, or gain by allocating our resources in that shares. Just like we discussed the definition of investing in shares, we would now discuss the definition of rational investing in a share. Okay, specific to the share market. A rational investment is the share here, acquired with the goal of generating income or appreciation, with the rational here being that you understand the business. Secondly, you understand its driver and you make an informed judgment about the appreciation expected. So the first part is same as the general definition of investing. That is, you allocate your resource or you acquire an asset or share over here with the goal of generating any kind of income or appreciation. Now the second part is important. That is the rational. When we say somebody is rationally investing, the rationale here is he understands the three parts or the three things. Firstly, he understands the business. Secondly, he understands the drivers of the business. And thirdly, he knows the fair value of the share. Okay. First out of the three factors, the first is your understanding of the business. This we have already discussed, that when you invest in a share, you are basically investing in the business of a company. So it is imperative for you to understand the business of the company thoroughly. Okay. Second part would be you understand the drivers of the business. I mean, who are the end customers to the company, to which the company caters to, or what is the end industry to which the company provides its services to. So you understand the drivers, because if you understand the drivers, you are easily going to know that whether the company is going to grow going ahead with profit or sales or not. Okay, because if the end industry doesn't perform, then the company itself is not going to perform in which you have invested. Thirdly, you need to understand whether the market price that you are investing currently, okay, is less than the fair value that you are expecting for the share. Okay, if you know this, then only, and you invest, then only you would have made a rational investment decision. So basically three parts: you understand the business, second, you understand the drivers of the business, and thirdly, you understand the true value of the business. That is, you know the appreciation that you can expect from the stock going ahead. Okay. What happens if you don't know the, first two parts are fairly simple. You understand the business and its driver. Third part is equally important, because if you don't understand the true value of the business, okay, let's say if you want to invest in Tata Motors, which is currently being traded at around 450, okay, and you know that the true value of the business is not more than 400, then would you be investing in it? No. Although the profit potential or the business drivers or the business of the company is good, but would you be investing in it if you know that the fair value is less than the current market price? Because you would be increasing your exposure to the risk of making a loss in the share market. So third part is very important, that is, you know the true value of the business or whether the share is underpriced or overpriced. So if you don't know any of the above and you are still investing, then you are merely speculating rather than doing a rational investment decision. So an example of rational investment in shares would be, from my personal point of view, I would be sharing this example. That is when I invested in Transport Corporation of India when it was trading at around 166. So firstly, I knew about the business. Now we are going to discuss three parts. Firstly, I know the business of the company. That is, it is in the business of providing logistics services or transportation of goods through railways, your roadways and seaways. Okay, and seaways being its most profitable business. Okay, so now I had a fairly good understanding about the business of the company. Second part is its drivers. So major customer of Transport Corporation of India are automotive industry or the e-commerce business. Okay, and there are many other industries as well, but it was majorly dependent on the recovery of the automotive sector. Now that I know that automotive sector or the e-commerce is going to grow going ahead, now I'm very confident about the business drivers of the company. These two are very easily understandable. I mean, it doesn't take too much time of yours to understand the business and its drivers. You just have to go through the reports and presentation. Thirdly, when I was investing at 166, when the share price was 166, I knew that after the pandemic, all the end market industry are going to have a good growth. Okay. After the pandemic, if the industries, the end market industries, the automotive, e-commerce and etc., other industries are going to grow, that means they would be requiring the services of a logistics company. Okay. So now I knew that at 166, the share price was undervalued, and I did my calculation and I understood that the fair value of the shares could be around 322 going ahead in 2 years. Okay. So based on understanding all these three factors, understanding the business, what are its driver and what could be its fair value, I had made an investment decision for a 2-year horizon period. Okay. Now doing such kind of decision or investing decision can be easily termed as rational investment decision. Okay. Now what is the importance of doing rational investment? Let's say you understand the business of Transport Corporation of India. We'll continue with this example. And now you know that the company is going to discontinue the seaways business, which is its most profitable business. Then you can easily take a decision when to exit or whether you should stay invested. Okay. Second part would be, let's say you understand that the automotive industry is not recovering as quickly or as swiftly as you wanted it to. So if you know that automotive industry is not recovering, the company is selling off its profitable business or any of the news, then you can easily make an investment decision whether to stay invested in the shares or whether you should exit the shares. Now consider this example from point of view of a irrational investor. who doesn't know any of this. Let's say if Transport Corporation of India has decided to exit the C-Waste business, he doesn't know anything about the business, so he'll keep his investment amount over there. But you being a rational investor, you would easily know that you need to exit the share right now. The irrational investor or the speculator or the person who has speculated and invested in the share would continue to take on losses. He would not even understand whether he should continue to stay invest or whether he should exit or not. Now let us discuss about irrational investing or speculating. Similarly, similar to the rational investing, we will discuss the definition over here. Speculation is the purchase of shares with the hope. I mean, there is no informed judgment over here. You are just hoping that you have invested and the shares will become more valuable in the near future without understanding the business, the drivers, and the fair value of the shares. It is actually not different from gambling. Okay. So if you are trading in a stock based on a tip, most likely you would be speculating. But if you understand the business, the drivers, and the fair value of the business, then you would be making a rational investment decision. So next time, whenever a broker calls you up to, let's say he tells you that buy Tata Motors at around 500, let's say currently it is trading at around 500, and he tells you that to buy the shares at 500, you ask him these three questions. First, you ask him, do you understand the business? Could you explain me the business? Secondly, you ask him whether what are the future drivers of the company based on which the company is going to grow in sales and grow in profit. Then only the share price is going to go up. Okay. Thirdly, you ask him what is the fair value of the business that he is expecting. If the broker is able to answer this, then you can go ahead with your investment decision. But mostly 90 to 95% of the retail investors merely speculate and go follow blindly the broker tips. Next time, whenever you get a call from a broker, ask him that why he should invest in the stock that he has recommended. Okay. If he is able to answer your questions and if you are satisfied with his reasoning, it is not necessary that he has told you something and you have to be satisfied. If you're not satisfied with the rationale that he is giving, then don't invest. Rather than speculating, I would also recommend you go ahead and do some kind of go to a casino and do some kind of gambling activities, because at least you would be having fun when you are losing money rather than blindly investing in the shares and just hoping that the share price is going to go up. You don't even understand what are the drivers of the shares or the business. Then you would be just hoping. So might as well you go to a casino and lose your money. In that process, you would at least be enjoying, unlike share market. Now that you understand the difference between rational investing and mere speculating in share market, then I hope you understand whether you have been rationally investing your money or whether you have been merely speculating like most of the retail investors do. And I hope this kind of video was helpful for you. So whenever you get a call from a broker next time, ask him these three fundamental questions so that you know exactly whether you should invest or whether you should stay away from the investment decision. Okay. If you have enjoyed the content of the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Your support means a lot to us. If you have any queries about the video or anything else, you can address me in the comment section. I would be more than happy to reply to it. I also conduct various online courses as well. You can check out the link in the description for more details, and it contains some free lectures as well.